Hey everyone, this is Stelly FD with Closeout, and in today's video we're going to talk about the top 10 interviewing questions that you can ask a new sales hire to really figure out if they're going to be great at their job. Right? So for most people that know me, you already know that I don't think that there is a perfect question you can ask in an interview to really know if somebody is going to be amazing at sales. I'm a big proponent of giving salespeople practical tests and really throwing them into the fire and see how they react. Similarly to if you were a coach and you wanted to know if somebody's a good basketball player, at some point, sooner or later, you want to throw them the ball to see what they do, right? You can ask a bunch of questions, but ultimately you need to see them play the ball. And with sales, it's very, very similar. But people still keep asking me this question every single day. I just got an email today about somebody asking me, what are the interviewing questions that you guys ask before you hire a salesperson? So I thought I'll share some best practices, some interviewing questions that I think will benefit you and give you more insights in the process. And then we're going to link up to a video where I talk about some practical homework and tests to really figure out if somebody's going to be amazing at this job. So 10 interviewing questions. I'm going to go through them really fast and share some context around them, and hopefully you can utilize some of them or all of them to really do better in sales hiring. So question number one, the most fundamental question when hiring salespeople is, why sales? Right? Ask them why they're interested in doing this job. Why have they been doing this job if they've been in a sales career for a long time? What is it about selling that appeals to them? What is it about selling that makes them want to be in this profession? How did they get into it and why they're still in it? What is the reason? What motivates them? Why sales? I always need to know what drives a person, especially in a position like sales where motivation is really crucial to performance. You need to know what motivates and what drives that person and what their purpose is. Why are they doing this job? What really gets them going? What really gets them motivated? What's the higher purpose? What's the higher goal? What is their journey? So you know how to support them on that journey, help them get to that goal, and quickly explore if that goal aligns with the goals that your business and your team has. And if it does, then it's a beautiful, beautiful fit. So first question is always, why sales, why selling, why are you doing this job? Question number two is, why do you want to sell this product, right? And this is such an obvious question, but I guarantee you 99% of all companies never ask their potential sales hires, why do you want to sell this particular product? I guarantee you most sales hires have a really bad answer to this. Most people you interview will not have a brilliant answer. And there it goes. It doesn't mean that if somebody gives you a bad answer on any kind of interviewing question that ultimately means they won't be good at the job. It doesn't. I don't think there's any question you can ask somebody that will point to somebody being good or bad at the job. Those are all clues. You're trying to collect as many clues as possible to make a judgment call. Is it more? Is it less likely that this person is worth more time, is worth trying it out, is worth investing into figuring out if they can be onboarded and be really successful at this job? So why do you want to sell this product is a brilliant question, because I want to know if they're thoughtful. I want to know if they thought about the product, if they're just applying to a bunch of jobs, or if there's purpose behind them sitting here and wanting to talk to me, and if they have some kind of an angle, approach, or relationship to what we're doing that is more than money, right? Money can be good. Money is fine. We all like money. But why do they want to sell this type of product? What is it about what we are selling that gets them passionate? They're passionate if they have a story, if they have a relationship with what we're selling, if they know about our product and they have good answers to this. Again, doesn't mean they're going to be great at it, but it increases the chances. And I like people that are thoughtful. If you're not thoughtful in selling yourself in this interviewing process, you're probably not going to be thoughtful in selling our products to our prospects and customers. So why do you want to sell our product? It's a crucial question. Seems simple, seems obvious. And because it's so obvious and so simple, most people miss the opportunity to ask it and then uncover that the person is totally unprepared for and has no clue. All right, similar to that is question number three. What do you know about our customers? And why are those people that, you don't even have to ask, that can come out of the natural conversation that will be stimulated by asking this question. But ultimately, when you ask, what do you know about our customers, you really want to know, again, did this person do their homework? Do they understand the prospect, your customer? How well do they understand the customer? Maybe they're totally misinformed or have a misconception on who your customer is. And hence, that is a huge opportunity for you to clarify that and make sure that this different type of customer that you have still is the type of person that this sales hire could do a good job with, can relate to, can be passionate about, can be caring of. Like, who is our customer? Tell me that. And then in that conversation, the follow-up, I would want to know, why is this a type of person that you care about? Why is this a type of person that you can associate with? Why is this a type of person that you think you can influence? Or that you think is attracted to you and your opinions, your thoughts? Why do you think you can work really well and communicate really well with this type of customer? So, what do you know about our customers? Fundamental question, again, a question that many sales managers and sales leaders will never ever ask in the early days of the interviewing process. I think it's a no-brainer. Next, question number 4. Is tell me about our competitors. And you see how this is following a certain logic, right? So I want to know why they're into sales. I want to know why they want to sell my product and what they know about my customer. And now, if you want to push it a little further, I want to know, have they looked around? Do they know what the competitive landscape looks like? Who we are competing with every single day? Who this salesperson is going to have to compete against in specific deals when they talk to prospects. How, again, did they do their homework? How mindful are they? How thoughtful are they? Have they done a little bit of research to figure out who else is in this space and what differentiates these other competitors from what this company does? And why do I think I could win selling this product versus a competitor's product? Right? If they don't know the answers to all these questions, again, it's not the end of the world, but it is not exciting necessarily. And if they have answers and good answers, again, that's another little green little flag, something that makes me more excited, makes me lean in and want to know more and want to invest more into this candidate. Question number 5 is tell me about the last time you were really stressed out in business and how do you deal with it? And this is a question you can ask to anybody in any position, but it is a powerful question because you want to know how people act under stress, especially in sales. I want to know when something wasn't going well, and this is not just about a specific deal. We'll have a unique question for that. I want to know when was a time when this person was not performing at their best, when this person was stressed out, could be for personal reasons, could be for any kind of reason, but how did they deal with that stress at work? And what stressed them out? When was the last time you were really stressed at work and how did you deal with it? So really revealing things people can bring up, is the thing that the situation that this salesperson describes a really crucial one you can really associate with, one where you think, yeah, I'd be stressed as well. Or does it seem really trivial? Does it seem surprising? What? This was something this person is stressed about? Wow, okay. Knowing that this person is probably easy to rock out of their balance. Maybe this person is going to be stressed a lot at this company, right? It gives you a lot of clues on how this person is going to react to pressures and changes and difficulties and challenges in their life, and how do they bring this into the business. And this is going to be a tough one for people to answer because as they're trying to think about their answer, and this is not a question they hear every day, so most likely they're not going to have a perfectly prepared answer for this. As they're thinking about the answer, they're trying to also filter their answer, right? They're trying to be political, to be like, can't say just the truth. So what is something I can say that sounds like I'm honest, but that makes me look good? And it's just funny to observe people when they're under that type of pressure, and salespeople will be under pressure. So this is not unfair, and to see what comes out of it. Most of the times it's going to be bullshit, right? Most of the times they're going to come up with some story that very much doesn't seem authentic to you, that has huge holes in it, and that just seems like they made it up because they were struggling to just tell you the truth and they were struggling to come up with a perfect story on the fly. Again, this doesn't mean that they can't be a great sales hire. It can mean a number of things. Maybe they're intimidated. Again, they don't want to make a mistake, and that's understandable. But they're going to be under these type of pressures every single day with prospects. Prospects are going to ask really tough questions at times. You want to have somebody and hire somebody in sales that can weather that storm, that can manage difficult interaction or a challenging question and do it either authentically and with strength and honesty, or if they bullshit, at least bullshit well enough that you probably could buy it, right? One of the two. But if they give you bullshit that's so thin that you're like, I'm not buying any of this, not the greatest answer to give in the world, right? So what what was the last time you were really stressed at work, and how did you deal with it? Killer question in the interviewing process. Question number 6. Tell me the last time you took a big risk and it didn't pan out. Right? It's similar logic behind this. Again, people are not going to be really prepared. And if you ask this question after the stress one question, now you're going to start stressing people out, right? They're going to be like, oh my God, like I can't come up with another story that's bullshit right now. And this is good. Like, you're putting them under fire and you see how they react. Are they totally comfortable in their own skin? Can they tell you the truth in honesty? And are they comfortable in where they're at, or are they so creative that they come up with one story after the other and you don't know if they're true or not, but you don't really care because you're entertained as hell and they all make sense to you, right? So when was the last time they took a risk and it didn't pan out? You want to know that these people are risk takers. So if they're struggling to come up with any risk they've taken in the past 10 years, that's a bad sign. And the risk doesn't have to be with prospects or in selling. The risk could be in any area of life. You really just want to know that this is a person that when there's an opening, when there's an opportunity, they, more often than not, they go for it. And that means in most people's eyes, they take risks, right? Because that speaks to a killer instinct, that speaks to a certain type of confidence that will translate really well in selling. So ask them when they took a risk and when it didn't pan out, and how did they deal with that situation. And similar and related to that question is question number 7, which is last time you lost a deal, you tried to sell something and the person said no. And why do you think they said no? It's another really good one. Again, if somebody's like, well, I'm always closing all deals, there's never been a time I have lost a deal, that's bullshit. And that means this person's probably not taking enough risks with a prospect they're going after. If they have a recent example, I just don't know. I'm not just interested in, yeah, I lost a deal last week, I tried to close this deal and it didn't work out. I want to know the reasons why. What's their self-analysis? How self-aware are they? If they're really good in analyzing what happened, why it worked or why it didn't work out, that's again just a sign of maturity and a sign that they're going to be really good at understanding where a prospect is and what needs to happen to close the deal. And they're going to know what they need to work on, what they need to change, or what they need to improve on when things aren't working, right? Are they self-aware? Can they analyze the situation when it's not going well? How much does their ego get into the way? All those are really telling clues. Next question, again, related, is tell me the last time you won a deal and why, right? I don't want to just know about their stress in life and things that didn't work out. I also want to know about their success, the things that really worked out. And I want to see, do I see a shine in their eyes? Does this person get excited? Do they smile when they talk about the last deal that they closed? Are they passionate? Are they motivated? Are they animated? How do they talk about their wins? How much energy and motivation and inspiration do they gain from these wins, right? And when was the last time they won? And again, do they know why? Do they have any fucking clue why they won the deal instead of just winning it? I'm curious. I want to know that. That tells me a lot about where somebody is in their maturity and journey as a salesperson. All right, question number 9 is, what was the last sales strategy, sales tactic that you've learned from somebody, or reading a book, or reading an article, or observing somebody doing something? When was the last time you learned something in selling and in sales that you were able to apply? Either successfully or unsuccessfully, that doesn't really matter. When was the last time you learned something in sales, and how did you apply it? This is a question that points to, is this person a learner? Is this somebody that's coachable? Is this somebody that continuously trying to work on their craft, get better at what they do, improve what they do? The best salespeople in the world are constant and lifelong learners. They will never ever stop trying to find ways to get better at their craft. So they always look out for lessons to learn, things to observe, books to read, people to talk to and get influenced by and gain knowledge from. And again, if the person doesn't have a good answer, that is not a knockout criteria, but I like it more when somebody has a good answer to this. I like it when salespeople are, learners, and when they are passionate about learning, passionate about gaining more information, more knowledge, more skills from others, and applying that information. And then last but not least, question number 10 on the top 10 questions you should ask a potential sales hire in an interview to know what they're made of is, what do you think it will take to sell me on you? And where do you think we are right now in the entire sales process? So you could ask somebody, or another way of asking this is just to say, how do you think this interview is going so far? And what do you think would it take for you to really fully convince me and sell me on you, right? And this is now an opportunity for the person to be self-aware and self-reflective on you as a prospect. The product they're selling is themselves, and the first part, the qualifying part, let's say, of the sales process was this interview and the 9 questions that you've just asked. And now what you're trying to do is you try to see, what does this person think it will take to close this deal and make me want to hire him or her? And how does this person think I am thinking about them? How good are they in reading clues? How good are they in reading humans? How good is this person in understanding, based on your reactions, the questions you ask, and the quality of answers that they give you, how well this conversation is going? Again, if they are spot on, if they know what you liked and didn't like, if they have a good sense of what's going on here, that will translate in their sensibilities when they talk to prospects, and how much they can influence the process since they understand what's going on, versus you might be thinking, that they are amazing and they think they're horrible, or you think they really missed the opportunity to shine at question number 9 and they think they killed it in number 9. The bigger the gap between what you were experiencing as the prospect here and they have interpreted as what was happening as the seller, the bigger that gap, the worse the salesperson. All right, so these were the top 10 sales questions you should ask somebody in an interview to know how experienced somebody's in their sales process, how much core knowledge and how likely it is that this person is going to be amazing at selling. But as I said at the beginning of this video, I don't think you can ask somebody these 10 questions and then know if somebody's going to be good at selling or not. They're all clues. They're all data. You should use that data. It can help you in making a decision. But it alone, no question on earth alone, can point to if you should hire somebody or not, other than the one question you can ask yourself, which is the question, do I like this person and would I buy from this person? If the answer to these 2 questions is no, I don't like this person, I would never buy something, then don't hire them. Don't even throw them a ball. There's no need for it. You don't want to be around this human. It's not likely going to be a good fit culturally for your business and your team. But if you think, yeah, I like this person and I probably would buy something from them, anything else that you asked and get information from, those are all clues, but they're not enough. You have to put the person through the fire. You have to throw them into cold water, whatever metaphor you want to use for this. You have to have them sell you something. You have to have them interact with people. You have to see how they do the job and how they really seriously sell versus just how they talk about it. So we're going to talk about this and link to this in this video. I'd love to hear some of the amazing questions you've heard or you've been asked to in sales interviews. So share them in the comments. Make sure to go to blog.close.io and subscribe to our blog post 2 to 3 times a week. We publish highly actionable sales tactics and strategies for all of you to apply, use, and be more successful with. And if you ever want, you can always reach out to me at stelly@close.io. Let's go out there and crush it.